You're live.
We're live. Okay. Good evening, everyone. It is Friday. What are we calling this? Friday Fun?
Friday Fun with the Rhotens.
Friday Fun with the Rhotens. That's our official title now.
Friday Fun.
At least for this Friday. I don't know.
Okay.
Next Friday we might be Friday Downer with the Rhotens. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway,
I'm all in favor of fun.
I hope you guys are having a great week. Getting ready for a big Christmas. We got anybody chiming in yet? Good.
Hopefully the video works okay. We kind of
we did a test earlier with the grandkids, and the video seemed okay, but it was kind of out of sync with the audio, and we don't know exactly why that was. Whether it was a YouTube thing, so and I don't know whether that was happening when we were doing it live. Nobody said anything that it was. We were kind of out of sync, or that's just how it kind of recorded, and I don't know. I don't know what. We'll see how this turns out. So far, we're way beyond where we were last time we tried to use this a couple weeks ago when we just couldn't even get a signal. So far, the
Well, you
signal
got a
seems
new
okay.
phone now too.
Well, no, this is the same iPad that we used a few weeks ago.
Use it a couple
really?
weeks ago.
Yeah.
I thought it was new and I hadn't seen it before.
No.
No, this is what we tried to use. Although we didn't have the tripod holder. Vicky was just using just holding it. Anyway.
I don't know what's going on half the time anyway.
So I wanted to share something with you. This is the giveaway that David Olson won a couple weeks ago. And I haven't shipped it yet. Obviously, we were in California when we actually gave it away. But I had to build a crate for it because of the 3D dimensional and the standoff of the Santa Claus and the reindeer. I literally had to build a box around it. So I wanted to kind of share it with you guys because I've never done one quite like this. So if you've got something like this, what I needed to do is make sure that this thing wasn't going to move around. So I built it out of 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch MDF. I put cleats, 4 cleats here that are holding the sign in place to the actual box. So literally this thing can turn upside down and it's not going to go anywhere.
Dave's here.
Dave. Sorry I'm late, Dave. But it does have a French cleat on the backside. And I did put a nice finish on it, 3 or 4 coats of finish on it. And so now that I know it's going to ship all in one piece and not get busted up, I'll put a lid on this and then I'll wrap the whole thing in corrugated paper and make a nice box out of it. You want me sitting back down? Anyway, I just thought it. So what I did, Dave, since you're here, what I did is these are nailed and glued in, these cleats. So don't try and take it off that way. But all of the other pieces, what?
Cody Schroeder said, I have to read this, it's funny.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh.
Cody.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas to the Carve Fathers.
Thanks, Cody. Appreciate that. Anyway, Dave, when you're pulling this apart, all the other joints, the corners and the bottom are all just pin nailed together. So once the top, I'm going to screw the top down with little screws. So I would just, when you're taking it apart, just take the top off. And if you want to pop off one of the ends, it should slide right out. So anyway, just, I think it's pretty solid. So I think it's going to be fine. I hope. But just treat it carefully when you're pulling it apart. Anyway, I'm going to get it out of the way now so we can move on to more stuff. Dad, you start talking. I've been talking all the time now.
Well, I don't quite know what we're going to do here. This is questions and answers, and I'm going to move this Christmas tree light back over in the center of the table and turn the lights on like Vicky told me to.
Don Gordon, says, hi, Vicky, Merry Christmas. It might be from Sandy. His Vicky, Merry Christmas to all of you, and Happy Christmas to my nephew, Snortin' Toot.
All right, so
Kind of delay, I can see it, but I think we're still good.
okay.
I sure wish I knew what you were saying.
I'm hiding on purpose. I'm
So-
trying to do this.
So next on the agenda, I want to share something with you that I thought was really, really funny. In case you guys don't know, a couple weeks ago, Dad and I and Rachel and John and actually Kyle Worley, we all went down to a seminar in Phoenix. Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, and I was privileged enough to get into a room with Gary Vaynerchuk for 2 hours with 9 other people. It was just me and 9 other people with Gary Vaynerchuk for 2 hours getting specific advice on our businesses. And I got some, it was really, really cool. It was really a lot of fun. But I made it on his show. His show posted like yesterday where they were filming the whole thing. But here, so I wanted to do a screenshot. So my 1.3 seconds of fame is as such. That is the picture.
It's pretty grainy. But
Yeah, it's pretty
you
grainy.
can see
That's the back of Gary's head.
That's yeah.
And then I am,
Point.
Well, I drew an arrow on there. You can,
I can't tell if you can see it or not.
right there on, my head is basically being shadowed by being eclipsed by Gary's head, basically. So everybody else in the room got on camera, but unfortunately I got my ear on camera was pretty much it. And that showed up for about 1.3 seconds. Anyway, I just thought it was hilarious. I was hoping I'd get on the show because they filmed the whole thing. D-Rock was there and they filmed the whole thing. I did get involved in some of on the podcast from that strategy session. That's what it's called, the strategy session from Phoenix. But it was a terrific time. Gary was awesome. Gave me some really
You didn't
good
get to
advice.
meet Tony Robbins, though.
Did not get to meet Tony Robbins or Robert Herjavec, but I met a lot of other cool people. This gal here, Chrissy, she is the mother of the girl that started Origami Owl. And anybody that knows anything about jewelry parties, that is the mother of the girl that started it. So they basically run the company, big company. She has
$100 million company.
more than that. They've got 40,000 women that sell their jewelry, their Origami Owl. And actually they're based out of like Chandler, right down out of Chandler. Anyway, very nice lady. We had a really good conversation. But anyway,
That was a good informational seminar. We heard a lot of good speakers.
yeah, it was terrific. So that is that. What's next on? Oh yeah, I wanted to just say thanks again to all of the great response that we got from the lives that I did in California last week. I don't know if it was last week or I don't know. I'm all confused. We're still trying to get caught up from when we were gone. But I'm hoping you guys like that. It was what?
It was last week.
Last week, not this week. The prior week.
Because I had to work. You were gone.
Yeah, you actually had to cover stuff.
People are saying it's getting a little bit blurry, but well, which one is Dave? The one in the cowboy hat.
Dave.
Sorry,
Eric.
Diana. Saying it's blurry, but
Oh shoot. Well, hopefully
I think it's
maybe it'll when it processes on the channel, it'll clear up. Hopefully it will. We're probably going to upgrade this iPad.
In case anybody wants to know, my knees are still getting better. I had both my knees replaced with stainless steel joints, and they're getting better. I'm walking almost 2 miles a day now. I've got a track laid out on my property, and I go out and walk on my track. So I'm almost at 2 miles a day now.
That's fantastic. And you're motoring pretty good too.
Yeah, getting around pretty good. It still hurts when I sit down and get up, and still hurts a little bit, but I don't have to use a walker. I take a cane with me when I go someplace, but I don't use it. I just carry it to fight off the snakes and the girls. But I'm getting better all the time, just in case anybody was interested.
Michael Shirley says you're the bionic man.
Speaking of Michael Shirley, I want to talk about Michael. We when we got back, we had a big box waiting for us, which was just an amazing surprise. Michael made us a sign, which is just
That's awesome. I love that.
amazing. Just
beautiful.
You
Fantastic,
can leave that up
fantastic.
year round.
Yeah,
That looked like it might look like it's painted, but that's all carved and painted.
that's routed and
So that's
painted.
routed and painted. It's
Yeah.
not just
Hold it
painted
up,
on
you got
there.
it glare. There you go.
Yeah, it's amazing, and he
We've got that hanging up in our living room as a centerpiece for Christmas.
yeah, it is
Gorgeous.
amazing, and even more than that was the letter that came along with it, and it was just I could read it, but it was amazing, and this is from Michael, who kind of spearheaded this with Cody and James Parks, I believe, and put this whole thing together from the group hand routed carvings for newbies on Facebook. Many of you are from that group, the huge group that was started a few years ago, and just the letter that he wrote, I would read it, but I'd probably tear up. But basically, I'm not doing this to pat ourselves on the back. I'm doing it to say thank you to you, Michael, Cody, James, and then he had.
Yeah, that's as good a testimonial letter as I've ever read. And we've got, over the years, we've got hundreds of nice testimonials of people that have, used our teaching and we've helped them get started. But this testimonial letter is probably the number one testimonial that we've ever got.
I would read it. So one of the letters is right from Michael, and then the other one is from the group, the hand routed carvings for newbies Facebook group. And then all of these business cards are people that sent in their business cards to Michael so he could send them along with the sign and these letters. And
I would suppose all those people have read that letter then, so they
I would have. Well, this letter is from the group itself.
Yeah.
So this is we as a group wrote this letter.
Right,
so just amazing. I was just blown away. Just thank you guys. And the thank you for taking the time. Cody's card is in here. Keith Davenport, Sarge, Cliff, signs by Chris, Pete's, Farrell, Cy's Corner, another YouTuber, Cy.
Yeah, I watched her video.
Yeah.
She made that Christmas sign.
I just watched it this morning.
Yeah,
Great
I love
little
her
sign.
videos.
Really
She's
nice
so
sign.
Cy is awesome. I dig that chick. Gary Zellner, Phil Rodney, Larry the Sign Guy of Spokane, Texas Signs in New York, and Calvin Burnett, I believe. Yeah, Calvin Burnett. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. Michael Shirley, of course, is there. Oh, Larry's Plaques and Signs in Kohlerville, Tennessee. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. You'll never know really what it means to us to have this kind of I don't know.
Feedback.
Feedback and compliments to what we do. It goes so far beyond just business. We feel like you guys are family. We really do.
Let me read some of these if I can go back that far. Let's see.
Do we have any questions to answer yet?
I want to hear that, Ashley.
Well,
I want
There's
to.
people from New York, Canada, Minnesota, Texas, Kentucky, Florida,
Wow.
Tennessee, Newbury Park, California, Texas.
Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Yeah, great Friday night.
Scotland,
Yeah. Scotland.
Scotland.
Can't even imagine what time it is
Utah,
in Scotland.
Dave from Utah.
Wonder what
Yeah.
time it is in Scotland.
I don't know. Missouri. Jesus. Florida. Let's see. Hi, Vicky. I used your idea for cutting boards for the kids. I'll send you pictures. That's John Bonk. I'd like to see those. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Oh, John Bonk took one of Vicky's ideas on making the cutting boards that she made.
Oh.
John Bonk is using her idea to make some for his kids
Oh,
or
good,
grandkids
good.
or
Yeah, let's
somebody
see.
for a Christmas.
If I say what, it's just because I'm a little hard of hearing and I don't have
And I'm
hearing aids.
kind of behind the thing. Georgia. Merry Christmas, Kent Cogan. Merry Christmas.
Kent. Hi,
Terry
Kent.
Hubbard. Bull Jordan.
Bull Jordan. I know Bull.
I think he's a character. Stephen Mary.
Stephen Mary Nasby.
I know it got a little blurry. Luther Say.
Yes,
He said you should get that wormy maple tomorrow if you haven't got it yet. That's cool.
And that's a question I want to answer for Luther,
Okay,
since he's here.
Go ahead.
All right, so Luther, here's a question that Luther wrote. So I was wondering if you ever had this problem, and I haven't shared this with you. I want to get your thoughts on it too. My wife got me a 611 WDP 611 router for Christmas, and the collet won't tighten down. I can tighten that collet as tight as I can, and the bit still slides up and down in the collet. What's your opinion? So I brought the 611. Now he said that he's been using a quarter of foos bits that they sell on Amazon for like $50. And I've never used the foos bits. He asked last week when we were live.
It has to be undersized. The bit has to be undersized.
I can only,
because
the only thing that I can think of is the bits are maybe 6 millimeter and they're not 1/4 inch, because 6 millimeter I believe is 235 if I remember right. I think it's 235.
And that would.
Oh wait a minute, that's oversized.
No, 250 is a 1/4 inch.
Oh yeah, 250. Yeah.
236 is 6 millimeter, and that would explain why the collet won't tighten up on it. But if it's 1/4 inch and everything is as it should be, and there's no reason to believe that they make those collets by the hundreds of thousands, it has to tighten up on a 1/4 inch.
But he says that he has a big 2 1/4 horse Bosch and has two wrenches. That has 2 wrenches, and it tightens in that. Is that right, Luther? That the bits will tighten in that Bosch router?
Sorry, I'm scrolling and I don't know if we.
Yeah. So there's only one of 2 possibilities that I can even think of. Number one is the bits are not 1/4 inch. Somehow they're 6 millimeter, or
I don't know if they make a 3/8 collet for that. Could be got an oversized collet, but I don't think they even make a 3/8 collet.
Or your collet
1/4 inch collet is all they make for that.
Yeah, that's all I know of, unless it's a European model or something. I just, or there's some kind of a defect in there, and that's theoretically possible. The only way that I can
really only 2 things you can cause that. You got an undersized router bit. That's the only.
Or the collet itself is defective, somehow broken in there.
That could be.
Take this off, Luther. Take this off and see what this looks like. If it falls in pieces, that's probably not good. I mean, that theoretically that could be it, right?
Theoretically,
if this is broken and actually comes out in 2 pieces, then it might be a defective collet. I don't know. I've never seen that happen, but that's the only thing that I can think of why a bit would not tighten up in there. And now you do know to press this. That's the shaft lock, obviously. Oops, that's too far. And then that should, I mean, literally, that's all there is to it. That should tighten that bit up.
Well, and that's a good point. If he's not pressing that shaft lock, this will just keep spinning.
Yeah.
If you're not pressing that shaft lock.
So yeah.
Sure and lock that shaft. If that's a 1/4 inch bit, it should tighten
That's
up.
the reason I wanted to bring it in and do this little demonstration.
Okay, we gotta.
Okay.
Let's
Questions?
See. Diana from Australia says, "Morning, guys. Brad says to say hello and Merry Christmas and have a safe and happy New Year to you and your family."
Love you guys.
Jim Clark says, "Received my order today. Thanks. We'll send another order next week. Merry Christmas from Jim and Edith Clark in Georgia." Question, but you answered it in one of your great videos.
Oh.
Good.
Well, I'm glad we did.
That's what we do.
Bull Jordan.
Yes.
He said to tell Ryan he caught an 8-point. He shot an 8-point.
He got an 8-point buck?
I don't think he caught it. Yeah, but yeah, he got it.
Well, maybe he did catch it. He's bold. Maybe he caught it and rode it.
Bruce Peter says, "Eric, I have sassafras. Not sure if that's correct spelling. Anyhow, how big a piece would you like and how many?"
Oh. Sassafras. He's got some sassafras wood. I'd like to try that.
Huh. Make some tea.
Whatever you think. If it's a 6x24 or a 12x12, I don't. If you got a truckload, bring it on. No, just a couple pieces is, or one or two small pieces is all I need. I just want to give it a try and do a demo on it.
Yeah, you've got a little
Thank you.
a little scrap piece. Send it along, and I'll see what it does for the laser. I'll see what the laser does on it.
Susan Alexander said, when Gary was talking about different businesses in his last vlog, he mentioned, even if you make wood signs.
That was me.
She said, I knew he was talking about you. Didn't know you were actually there. Wow.
Yep, I was literally, if you watch that, that's Sue that said that. If you watch that, and he talks in that same talk, he talks about family businesses, and that there's a guy with an older generation. He was talking about me.
I'm the older generation.
He was talking about him. That was me. He was looking right at me when he said that.
All right, David and Megan Pontius. Sorry if I said that wrong. Could you mention again the name of the wax you're using instead of the silicone spray?
I'm using the it's made by Minwax, and it's paste wax. It's just paste wax in a can. I would have brought it in, but I did a couple videos on it. But it's just literally called finishing paste wax.
Minwax paste wax.
But any paste wax should work, honestly.
Did the crate take longer to make than the sign?
Pretty much, yeah. As far as my part of it, I don't know. I've got a couple hours in it trying to figure out how to do it, but it wasn't bad. Once I used my pin nailer, it wasn't too bad. But you trying to out and cut the pieces, yeah. I probably have as much time in that.
The reason it took so much time is he didn't ask my advice.
That's probably
Stephen
why.
Coyne counted any printer problems when using freezer paper and the silicone spray. My black ink is clogged up. I think it may be the problem.
I haven't. Stephen, make sure though, if you're using the freezer paper, I don't use the Reynolds wrap roll anymore. I use the 8.5 by 11 sheets made by C.J. Jenkins. I think is who they're in our Amazon. I haven't had any issues with those because they're nice and flat. When I first started doing it, I literally was cutting 8.5 by 11 pieces out of a roll, and they would kind of curl, and I would have to tape them to another piece, and it was kind of a hassle. Huh?
All right, I said it was a mess.
Yeah.
Gareth Henderson says, I'm working night shift. This is the only thing keeping me awake. I just finished a dog toy box for my in-laws. Would you paint the lettering before painting the actual box?
Okay, so if the box is going to be painted or just cleared, are you going to put clear on it?
I'd put a finish on the box, then paint the letters last. If it were me, that's how.
Generally, that's what we do.
Yeah.
In most cases, that's what we do. I can do it the other way if you're using a finish that's really clear. But if you're using a finish that's got an amber tint to it, like the Minwax spar urethane oil based, then it will change your colors. Or
if you're painting it, then you're going to have to put a different colored paint on the letters. So, but I would finish the box first and then paint the letters afterwards.
All right, Justin Miller says, if you guys ever get into Washington State, let me know. We want to try getting a large group of his local carvers together, and it would be great if you could go.
That's great.
If you get a group together, let me know. I might find a way. Vicky's shaking her head.
You guys stop it because he's never going to be home. He loves going out and doing that.
Oh my gosh, that would be cool.
Okay, Mike Loyal says, spray ink or primer? What's the best?
I guess if I had to pick, pick one over the other. It would be the ink, and the biggest reason is the nozzle, because I have a little bit better control of the nozzle, less chance of overspraying, because the primer, that's what he said, primer, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The primer nozzle comes out about twice as fast as the ink nozzle does. So I have a little bit better control with the ink nozzle.
Remember, with either one, don't overspray. Don't spray too heavy. You just don't need to. Keep it keep it real light. If you make 2 real light coats or 3 real light coats, that's better than 1 heavy coat. For a couple of reasons. Number one, it'll soak in if you're not careful. Number two, it'll mess up your sanding belt. You have to be sure it's dry. So, but don't spray heavy. That's the thing that most new people make mistakes by spraying either the ink or the primer, spraying it too heavy. Don't do that. Keep your spray fairly light.
All right, there's a bunch of comments I'd really like to read, but we're running out of time. Somebody said, "Is the pic?" They've been saying it's fuzzy. It's fuzzy.
Yeah.
Someone asked, "Is it eggnog?"
It's that time of year.
Let's see.
I had a question the other day. Have you ever bought the ink in bulk and then used and try and spray it with your critter sprayer? Because it's kind of
that would Stephen Mary.
Yeah.
Somebody just asked, Eric, did you ever figure out the hard film that is in the glass jar after using the critter sprayer?
Oh, the hard film that, you know what? I haven't been finishing enough signs lately to get that all figured out. No, I actually haven't. If you guys figure it out, let me know.
Justin Miller said, Vicky, think of all the cedar you could haul home.
From Washington State.
I bring
From Washington
home
State,
the
yeah.
slab.
Anyway, so no, I have not figured that out yet. What happens is on the Minwax spray or spar urethane, sitting in the jar for a period of time just creates a film on top. I normally just tear it off, throw it away, and then it, kind of sift it out.
Get air in there somehow.
Yeah, somehow air is getting in there. But the reason I don't, to go back to the original thing that I was saying, is I don't buy the ink in bulk and then spray it with a critter sprayer. Yes, that would be much cheaper, but that would come out even faster. I'd have less control on overspraying. So I'm just going to stick with the spray cans until I find a better way.
Well, the critter sprayer would be difficult to use as a layout spray.
Yeah.
Whereas a spray can, because you're up above your layout.
Good point.
With a critter sprayer, it would be difficult to get up and do layout spraying with a critter sprayer. So I wouldn't even, I'll tell you the truth, I wouldn't even attempt that.
So, do you have something to tell me?
Do I have something to tell you? I'm sure I do.
Group 61 says, Dave, which I think he means you, Eric. Did you tell Vicky that you're coming to North Carolina?
I did not.
Cody Schroeder says, I sprayed lacquer or water-based sealer over resin. And Michael Shirley, that's a question I think I missed. I'm sorry.
Cody is awesome at finishing and
yeah,
stuff.
I watch his videos.
So what are you saying, Cody? You've sprayed lacquer
over resin?
Like
on a river table?
Is that what you're saying? And
I don't know.
You know what?
Tell him to call you.
Yeah, he made Cody a while back made some signs, and actually some of those cornhole boards, and he did a lot of color and stuff on there. But I know Cody really plays with a lot of finishes and stuff. He does amazing stuff.
He said he was answering Michael's question. I missed the question.
Okay.
3 spots above Cody. Hold on. Cody, 1, 2, 3. Oh, Michael asked, how well would resin work in knots if you plan to spray the sign with poly? Okay. So that's what he answered.
And Cody says he sprayed poly over
resin. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've done that many times. I've filled knots with the CA glue or even resin, and then sanded it down, and then put coat over it. The spar urethane or the crystal clear or even the Czar. Yeah, absolutely, you can do that. I just wasn't sure whether you're talking about a resin that was afloat, a complete, but there would be no reason to put lacquer over that I know of.
No, we appreciate it, Cody. You answer everything.
Thanks, Cody.
You know more about it than we do.
Yeah, no,
we appreciate you.
You're a master at that stuff.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Absolutely.
All right, so
I love watching Cody's videos.
Oh yeah.
He does some
Terrific stuff.
awesome
Terrific stuff. There's so much talent in this group that
yeah.
just way beyond. That's why I was telling Michael.
Yeah, some of the emails with the signs that people are doing,
Oh,
just
man.
Yeah.
it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just
I was telling Michael the other day when I called Michael after I received this. I was telling Michael that if he can get a group of people together over there, that I might come into Texas and just have a big old sign carving party.
Howard,
But I'd probably ask more questions than they would.
yeah.
These guys are so good.
Howard Fenimore says, you folks are great. Hope to start making signs next month. I'll be sending in an order over the phone. Good night from Fallon, Nevada. My
Fallon,
sister's in
Nevada.
Fallon,
I know where
yeah.
Fallon is. Yeah.
Yeah, my sister.
Well, thank you.
I'll be in Fallon actually probably in April.
You're going to Fallon in April?
March or April, the end of March or April. Yes,
are you going over to see Sandy or what?
I'm going to see my sister.
Oh,
And
But,
probably
yeah,
Sandy Richard, too.
I'll let you guys
Yeah.
know, and anybody that's in Fallon, let
Yeah,
me
there
know.
you go.
We'll do a
Go
video
see
like
Vic.
we did with Sandy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, wait a minute.
More questions?
I'd like to meet this Bull Jordan. He's a character.
So Luther, if I'm hoping we answered your question. Again, I hope that little demo that we did with the router, it's got to be either the collet or you've got an undersized cutters. I just don't.
or you're not locking the shaft.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Dogs are barking. I guess that's our sign.
Yeah.
The dogs are barking
They're
out
saying,
there.
"No."
All right, guys, I guess that's it for this Friday. Next Friday, we're going to do this again. So if you guys have got more questions, I know it's going to be in between Christmas and New Year, but I don't see any reason not to do it. So we'll be back again next Friday. If you guys have more questions, we'll have more stuff to share. Maybe share some sign carvers of the day. Is there more questions?
Yeah,
They're
coming. But
Okay.
that's okay.
We'll talk a little bit about
Most-
Christmas and what went on at Christmas.
Yeah, mostly just Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
and
Merry
thank
Christmas,
you.
everybody. We'll have. I'm putting together Monday's video right now. I carved a sign out of pine, and I kind of showed a couple things that I haven't done before on layout, and then ways to kind of lessen the chance of bleeding. So that'll probably be a long video, but it'll be posted on Monday if everything goes right, if the weekend goes right.
Yeah,
So
Merry Christmas.
Merry
everybody.
Christmas, everybody, and
And Happy New Year.
hope you guys have a great weekend and a very Merry Christmas. And keep those questions coming. Keep sending me sign carvers of the day. Anything I can answer for you, Eric at MakeAWoodSign.com. I don't know why my voice is starting to scratch
I
here.
noticed that though this afternoon.
Mine's been pretty good all night.
Yeah,
It
no,
has.
it's catching. Yeah.
Normally my voice is scratchy. It's been pretty good all night.
Anyway, we love you all. Thanks
We
again.
will be
Thanks
here
so
next
much.
Friday.
We will be right here
Friday.
Next
so
Friday, we'll be right here, same time, same bat channel. Yes.
Same bat time, same bat time.
Yes. So we love you all. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend, everybody. You'll see a video on
Somebody says you
Monday.
need, eggnog.
I do need eggnog. That is correct.
All right.
Bye,
Merry
guys.
Christmas,
Merry
Bye-bye.
Christmas.
Bye.
Okay. Well.